This is an introduction to AI training course with NILC. I'm Jonathan Pollinger and delighted to be presenting this training course for you, which I hope you'll find really useful. AI can be really beneficial, both in terms of your productivity, but your quality, any sort of work that you do, it can help you improve the quality of that as well. So, hello and welcome. So, with regard to this training course, you can take it as a whole, so you can watch the complete video, or you can dip in and out of the modules as required. So, we're going to kick off shortly with the first module, and we're going to be looking at what exactly is AI, a bit of an AI overview, if you like. Then we're going to get into the tools, and the two main tools that we will be looking at in this session are ChatGPT and Copilot. Then we're going to actually look at what the tools are really useful for. So I'm going to suggest a number of tasks and activities that you can carry out in your role, whatever they are. So we're going to look at tasks that you can do with either of those tools and tasks where a specific tool is more appropriate. So let's get straight into it in terms of what exactly is AI. So what AI attempts to do is replicate human intelligence. So as humans, we've got fantastic abilities such as the ability to create content, to think and reason, and to analyze and make decisions. So, in all of those areas, AI is actually really strong because it can carry out great work in those areas, but it's actually super fast at carrying out those activities as well. So a subset of AI is something called LLMs. Now, if you read articles or listen to podcasts, then this is an expression you'll hear quite often. It stands for large language models. And really what they are huge data sets that underpin your AI tools such as ChatGPT, Copilot, Meta AI, Google's Gemini, and so on. So huge data sets that incorporate often the entirety of the internet with additional reference material, images, photo libraries, video libraries, and so on. And what the tools do, they rely on these huge data sets to generate human-like responses. So you can put in a question or a request, which is known as a prompt, and then you receive an output, you receive a response, which could be something you've asked the AI tool to create, or you perhaps have asked for an answer to a question or a solution to a problem. And as I mentioned, in additional modules, we'll be looking at loads of different really useful tasks and use cases where AI can play an important role. So now let us look at some examples of where AI is used today. So you might not think that you are very familiar with AI, but you probably actually are because a large number of services, apps and software, websites that we use do actually use AI on a really regular basis. So if we look at Netflix and Spotify, for example, Netflix uses AI to recommend movies, whereas Spotify uses AI to recommend music and helps you create playlists, even creates playlists for you. Even has an AI DJ that can play music that it thinks that you will like, and it's often pretty accurate too. We have Google Maps that helps your navigation, the ability to get from A to B in a wide variety of different ways, whether that's walking or by car. It can even analyze traffic at any particular time as well to provide you with data and useful information around that. Amazon will recommend what products it thinks that you are likely to buy, whereas Booking.com will recommend accommodation in the form of hotels and Airbnbs and so on. Monzo and indeed all of the challenger banks, the newer banks, will analyze your trends and your spending, gives you graphs and information based on that data, and can make personalized recommendations that are tailored just for you. Facebook and indeed all social networks provide the newsfeed that you see when you log on. So that newsfeed is unique to you, and it is providing social media posts there that it thinks will entertain and interest you. But it's all backed by AI. Garmin is a fitness app that people have on watches, so it will analyze your fitness data, make recommendations, provide you with suggested training plans, and so on. Whereas Vodafone, and indeed all the mobile phone companies in the UK, will adjust the strength of their signal depending on how many people are using phones in any particular area. So you end up with a better phone service as a result of AI. So let's drill down a little bit and look at some hard stats that back up the use of AI and why it can actually be really beneficial. So, for example, over 80%, a huge amount that, of content, so your films and your movies and your TV programs watched on Netflix, is based on AI recommendations. 35% of Amazon's revenue is generated via their shopping recommendations, a very high figure. So it will look at what items you have purchased and browsed at in the past and perhaps add it to shopping lists and then make appropriate recommendations. And obviously, they have to be appropriate for them to make up that huge 35% figure of all Amazon's revenue. And if we look at productivity, 70% of Copilot users say that they are more productive, but not just about productivity, but also about quality as well, with 68% reporting improved quality of their work. And when it comes to ChatGPT, small business users that integrate ChatGPT for uses such as customer support and content curation experience a 50% reduction in time. So huge time saving there. So that's the present and the past. What about the future? Well, there's likely to be a massive positive impact because AI has huge potential. So 61% of all UK jobs have the potential to be significantly enhanced by AI. When it comes to the wider economy, AI could create as much as 400 billion in value in the UK by 2030. So expect huge benefits from AI in the future.